Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Thursday, the 30th of September, 2021. I hope you're all COVID-free today. I hope you're healthy. I hope your household, your family are healthy and COVID-free, and that the needs of your household in terms of food and shelter and clothing as well as health are being met today. Blessings upon those that working in the healthcare field, trying their best to save lives of strangers. Blessings upon those that pick up garbage for us to keep our places clean. Blessings upon those that make deliveries for us for our convenience. Double blessing on those trying to help deliver, recapture, mold unfortunate people who have been subject to human sex trafficking, human trafficking, child molestation, pedophilia, sex slavery, prostitution, child prostitution, pornography, child pornography, those addicted to pornography, helping those that are addicted to pornography, and helping those that have been victims of pornography and child pornography. Blessings upon those people trying to help, trying to deliver, trying to help those unfortunate, and double curses upon those that promote these industries and destroy human minds and lives. Finally, blessings upon the homeless. 600,000 human beings, men, women, children, families in the United States, and the numbers are growing. Millions around the world in places like Philippines, places like Afghanistan, places like Haiti, without a roof over their head. Blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom, and blessings upon those trying in any small way to help. So, Tom Thibodeau spoke yesterday, I believe it was. I was at a conference and I could not do my video yesterday. Been busy around here. But anyway, Thibs spoke to the media, and it was the day before yesterday. I think it was. But anyway, he was speaking, and what I noticed is that he was much more forthcoming than he has been in the past. And it makes sense if you know Tom Thibodeau, and this is one of the points of today's video. There are a lot of people that want to analyze, criticize, and change Tom Thibodeau. Tom Thibodeau is his own man. He's been successful as an NBA coach. He has put in his time coaching for decades, literally. And it pains me a little bit, to be quite honest, when people try to be critical of him, doesn't know the journey that he came to get to where he is, to be a coach in New York City and embracing that and wanting that job. It's disrespectful to me. You may not like the dude's style. You may not agree with how he runs his thing, but it's his thing. Understand? This is him. This is his thing. He got a game. The game that he coaches is his game. It is what it is. Okay. So I respect it. I happen to really appreciate and like Tom Thibodeau's style. Always have. I wished I was, when they hired Jeff Van Gundy back in the day, I was glad they had Thibs underneath him. And I wanted them to replace Van Gundy with Thibs. And Thibs ended up assistant coach in other places. And then, as we know, he ended up going to Chicago. But I'm kind of glad now that he didn't, because the Knicks management with Isaiah Thomas and the other clowns that were in there at the time would have ruined, the whole thing, would have ruined it. But again, we go back to the Don Leon Rose being picked by the owner, James Dolan, to run the Knicks. And this is a home run right here, because the Don knew what he was doing in bringing in a Tom Thibodeau. Okay. I also, my number one choice at the time was Kenny Atkinson, because I felt like the Knicks were a young team and Kenny Atkinson would be more also a defensive coach, but also get the most development out of our youth. Because I was thinking rebuild. Right? But Tom Thibodeau doesn't think rebuild. And it worried me when he came on board, because Tom Thibodeau wants to win now. I was afraid that they were going to get rid of all the youth so that he could bring in a whole bunch of grizzled vets so that he could try to win now. That's what my fear was. But as it turns out, my fear was unfounded. And as I look back on Tom's career, both in Chicago and in Minnesota, he didn't just get rid of youth. He developed certain youth, but he develops youth that he feels will fit his program. Period. Okay. And so he does that. And last year was no exception. I mean, we had several players 23 or under. And he gave time to that he had playing, including Obi Toppin, Mitchell Robinson started. You had, of course, RJ Barrett. You have IQ. He definitely played youth last year. Now, of course, we know he played veterans, but this is Tom Thibodeau. And what we should appreciate in Knicks Nation is having a coach that has a career winning record. I know his career record is over 500. So what that means is that no matter where he has coached, his teams have been winning teams. Now, some people will judge him and say, well, he hasn't won a championship. I'm not even going to answer that. Great coaches are great coaches. There's a lot of great coaches that haven't won championships. Like there's a lot of great players that haven't won championships. Patrick Ewing was a great player. Didn't win a championship. UB Brown, he had his faults when he first started, but he became a great coach. Never won a championship. There's been a lot of great coaches that don't win championships. Okay. It's just the way it is. Not everybody wins a championship. That's why it's called the championship. Okay. So, but as Knicks Nation, we do have hope that under Tom Thibodeau, this will change, that he will end up winning a championship here in New York. So I'm looking up his coaching record. His overall coaching record is his winning percentage is 58.7, which is basically he's winning about 59% of his games as a coach. He's 670 and 393. And that's coaching Chicago, Minnesota, and New York. He's only had in all of his career, which spans, looks like as far as a head coach, looks like he's been a head coach 11 seasons. He's had 2 seasons under 500 in 11 seasons. Okay, 2 seasons. One of them we know, and both of those were with the Minnesota Timberwolves, which he was having trouble because, number one, he shouldn't have been the president and the coach. He can't handle that. No, I haven't met a guy yet that could actually do that. You can't really do that. And then number 2, of course, he was getting pushed back from Cat and Wiggins on the defensive end of the floor, so there's that. So aside from that, the guy's winning almost 59% of his games. You bring in that to New York, who hasn't seen winning seasons in a minute before he came here. So anyway, at the presser, when he was doing the media day, he was a little bit more forthcoming. And the reason I think that is because he's more comfortable. He's more comfortable. See, the thing is about Thibs that I want y'all to understand is he's a coach that really he has to be comfortable. He has a system. Like I said, he has a game. He has steps. He has a system that he follows religiously. As far as starting with training camp, before training camp, preseason, he has definite steps that he follows. He has definite principles. For as we know, he's a defensive coach. He has definite principles that he follows. And so he very much wants players that fit into his system and that he knows that he has dealt with, that he knows can play and understand what his system's about. Last year, coming into the season, he had spent a lot of time with Julius, understanding Julius was going to be the focal point, at least in his mind. And it apparently worked. But in his mind, he was dealing with Julius. He knew Julius. He watched Julius. He went to Julius' workouts, talked to Julius, spent a lot of time with him. And so last year, he was very guarded because he said actually, and this is another thing, we need to believe what he says. He said, I don't know a lot of these guys. I don't know them. In other words, when he said he don't know them, it's not like he's never heard of them, not like he's never seen them play, but until they're in his system, going through the steps that he does for each player and his team, each team, he doesn't know them. Okay. So then, of course, he brings in Taj Gibson. Eventually, they bring in a Derrick Rose. He knows these guys and he becomes more comfortable. This year, he knows most of the players because they have come through the steps of his system. So in the media day, he talked about the guys that he knows. Like he mentioned the rookies. He said he's excited about the rookies. Well, he should because he had a hand in picking them, but they have to go through his steps. Okay. Now, if they break out, if they show themselves special in some area, like Quick did last year with his floater game when he came off, okay, they could get some time. But most rookies are going to be like Obi. Most rookies, where Obi came in. If you remember last summer, they were making a big deal out of Obi breaking records in terms of the training camp exercises that they would do in training camp, breaking records for how quick he would do something and how much he would do of some drill. That don't mean nothing. You still got to learn as a rookie. And we saw Obi go through that process, getting beat on defense, missing assignments, and then eventually as the season went on, he earned more of Thibs' trust and he became a better defender, right? He became a better, offensive player, got more confident as the season went on. And then this past summer, we saw him take another step in his confidence level. With Obi, it's all here, right? It's got nothing to do with ability. The cat's got all the ability in the world, and he's developing. And so this, but he's taking the steps. And now Thibs knows Obi, IQ, of course, all the guys, Alec Burks, of course, Julius, of course, RJ, of course, IQ, of course, D Rose, they all know the steps. Now, Kemba and Evan have never did that with Thibs, but Thibs also ain't stupid. Like, he knows they paying Evan Fournier almost $80 million. He's going to play. He's going to start. Okay. He knows Kemba. He's respected Kemba for a long time. He knows Kemba. See, and Kemba knows what Thibs expects. So now he's comfortable. So he spoke about the second unit. They asked him about Kemba starting. Of course, media's always trying to bring drama in New York. It's an easy moneymaker for them to create drama. But Thibs, he didn't fight it. He said, yeah, because he said the second unit played well. If y'all remember, there were a lot of games last year where the second unit outscored the starting unit. And a lot of that we know had to do with the weakness at point guard. But the second unit just outscored. The second unit was a consistent in terms of its ability to score. And then, like I said, many times they outscore the first unit. You bring back that same dynamite. That's why I was trying to explain to some of y'all who was begging for Derrick Rose at age 33 to start. No, you keep that second unit intact because they were destroying other teams' second units last year. If they can continue to do that, and we're going to say in a minute why they will, with the starting unit that we have, the Knicks are going to be very difficult for any team this year. They're going to be very good. Because even if they're slipping on the first unit, that second unit is going to come in. This is the reason. Number one, Derrick Rose, even at age 33, like I said, in limited minutes, you cannot play him 35 minutes a game. You're going to run, he will get hurt. Okay? Some of y'all don't understand it. This ain't NBA 2K. You don't just plug in based on the rating. This cat coming off the bench, though, will destroy any second unit point guard. There's no second unit point guard in the NBA that can guard him. Period. Then you add an improved IQ. Then you add an improved Obi, who's going to have an expanded role. You're going to see him get more minutes this year. Especially I'm not saying Obi's going to destroy the NBA this year, though that should be his goal. When they were asking him his goal yesterday at the presser when he was talking, Obi's a lovable kid. You just gotta like him. Just listening to him talk, you just gotta like him, man. But it reminded me of Randy Moss. If y'all remember, I know it's football, but when Randy Moss came in the NFL and they asked him what his goal was, right? He said, I want to destroy the NFL. I want to just rip it up. That's what he said. And he proceeded to do that, becoming one of the greatest wide receivers in the history of the game, but started in the very first year. So I was thinking, I said, answer like Randy Moss. Tell him I'm going to destroy everybody. That's what I wanted Obi to come out with. But, he was more humble than that. But anyway, he's going to be more aggressive this year. He's going to know the defensive assignments. He's going to know what Tom Thibodeau is expecting of him. I don't expect him to become a 20-point scorer this year, but I'm expecting major steps from last year, which is going to be really good on the second unit. Then, of course, you got Nerlens Noel. Now, while Mitch, I don't know when Mitch is going to be ready, but Mitch is the starting five when he's ready. When he's ready to play, he's going to be the starter. But I don't know if he's going to be ready for the opening tip of the season or not. They're bringing him along slowly and they should. So let's assume he's not going to be ready. So you're going to have Nerlens Noel starting at the 5 spot. You're going to have Taj Gibson coming off the bench behind him. Fine. So you got Taj, D Rose, IQ, Obi Toppin. Now, I don't know who else. Alec Burks. Y'all know that's tight, right? That's a tight second unit, yo. Now, y'all say, what about Deuce? What about Quentin? What about Kevin Knox? They got to compete. Kevin Knox knows the steps. He knows what Thibs expects. This is his chance. He has to show himself. The rookies are going to be played like rookies. They're going to be played like rookies. They're going to carry bags. They're going to get lunch for everybody. They're going to have to earn their way. But this is Tom Thibodeau. And this is the best thing about having a coach like that with the staff he's got. The Knicks are in good shape. Like I said, a healthy Mitchell Robinson makes us top 3 in the East. I don't give a crap who else. Going, whatever. Whether it's Philly got to drop, I don't give a crap. Somebody dropping because we gonna come. We taking it. That's what when you get Mitchell Robinson healthy, that's what's going on. But without Mitchell, we still top 6 because of the staff, because of the system, because Tom is comfortable. And when they asked him about the change of the rules, he perked up. This dude's licking his chops, man. The defensive mind, Tom Thibodeau. Don't worry about the offense, y'all. I'm trying to tell you, I think Johnny Bryant's got the offense, and it's gonna flow. The defense, he gonna let the dogs out. Look, we here. Have a good Thursday. Shalom.